today, I have the privilege of introducing our keynote speaker, Dr. Lee Jones. He is nationally known for his work in medical education. In his career so far, he's been the Associate Dean of Student Affairs at 3 major institutions. He's been the director of various psychiatric services, a revered medical educator, and been involved with innumerable critically important projects at the AAMC. As our former Associate Dean for Student Affairs, he relentlessly championed for Davis medical students. We will never forget that. And his mentorship, his support, his friendship is the reason why, on behalf of the class of 2017, I am so honored to present Dr. Lee Jones.
So I'm an emergency room psychiatrist. It's not nice to make us cry. Vice Chancellor Nesbitt, Dean Berglund, Dr. Freischlag, distinguished guests, families, friends, and most of all, the class of 2017. Good morning. Almost 4 years ago, you started UC Davis School of Medicine at the induction ceremony, and I remember it very clearly. We were all a lot younger. I was a lot younger. You were excited, energized, and somewhat naive. In retrospect, did you have any idea what you were really in for? No. I hope you would still have done it. You each brought a wealth of experiences, talents, dreams, and a bit of anxiety with you to school. You also brought the hopes of the people around you, your friends and family. You would not be here without those people. I'd like to invite the class to stand and recognize the people that are here and not here and give them a rousing round of applause, please. This is the part I have to stop because they can go on forever. They're so excited about you. Thank you. The really good news is that even with an MD after your name, these people are all continue to be your supports. Don't ever forget this. I know it's been 4 years of very hard work, and I know, because I know you, a lot of very hard playing. You rose to each challenge in your education, expanding your knowledge, skills, and maturity, and achieving your degree. You've put an immense amount of knowledge into your heads and gone through test after test after test, only to hear that a large percentage of what you've learned will someday be proven wrong. Welcome to the miracle of modern medicine. You've cared for people from all walks of life, living in situations you could not have imagined. You've seen people at the worst points in their life, and I'm sure been inspired by their resiliency, caring, and the strength of their human spirit. You've grown in ways you don't recognize while going from naive pre-medical students to achieving your MD today. The world, your world, is forever changed. You are no longer just the daughter or son, neighbor or friend. Your opinion can't just be an opinion. It must be based on continually updated knowledge. Your pronouncements really carry life and death consequences for others. To quote Spider-Man's Uncle Ben, with great power comes great responsibility. As an intern, I was, as always, rushed the early morning I was called for a non-functioning central IV line. I was a surgical intern and I needed to get to the OR. I wanted to avoid the amount of time it would take to put a new line in, so I grabbed some heparin, which is a blood thinner, to remove the clot. It worked, and I left. 10 minutes later, I got stat paged because I had, in my rush, used not a dilute form of heparin, but a very potent form of heparin, and I had completely anticoagulated this sweet little old lady who could now bleed out because of my mistake. Yikes. It was bad. So we moved her to the ICU, where I packed every pillow I could find around her because I didn't want anything touching her, and we began treating her. And she really was this tiny face in a sea of pillows who finally said, "Excuse me, it's really hot in here. Can we get rid of some of these pillows?" The really good news is she was fine, but I wasn't. It was pretty devastating for me. My favorite quote comes from Jay Leno. Quote, "The New England Journal of Medicine reports that 9 out of 10 doctors agree that 1 out of 10 doctors is an idiot." Close quote. Don't be the idiot I was. Be very aware of your weaknesses, address them, and attend to all the details. Let me now return to talking about being inspired by the human spirit, the caring and resiliency, to believing. I want to tell you about two patients who taught me a great deal. After my psychiatry residency, I did my first fellowship in oncology, the psychiatric aspects of cancer. I cared for people with lymphoma and leukemia. One of my favorite patients, whose name was Margaret, was a wonderful woman in her late 80s. She'd lived a full life, raised 5 children, worked as a nurse, and traveled all over the world, and was dying. I spent time every day with her and Jake, her husband of over 60 years. I'd gotten to know them both quite well over the months of her treatment. I found Jake one day sobbing at the end of her hall. He took my hand and thanked me for the 100th time for the care I was giving his child bride. He then asked me how he was going to get up in the morning without Margaret after 61 years of waking up at her side. I had no answer. I still haven't done anything, including breathe, for 61 years. I'm hoping to make that. And I can't begin to imagine what Jake was going through. The next week, 2 days before Margaret died, and after a very long night on call for me, I went to see them in the afternoon. The room was dark. Light hurt Margaret's eyes. The smell of her favorite scent, lilac, filled the room. The uneaten lunch tray sat next to the uneaten breakfast tray. Jake sat on our bed and they were holding hands and laughing. Jake stood up and gave me his signature handshake that by then had always morphed into one of the best bear hugs you can imagine. Margaret reached her hand up to me and motioned for me to sit down where Jake had been sitting. I was suddenly filled with what a privilege it was to be part of these people's lives. We talked about Margaret's night and her pain control. Then she held my hand in both of hers and began to tell me that she was worried about me, that I wasn't getting enough sleep and that I looked tired. I felt Jake's hand on my shoulder and he echoed her concerns. My initial response was, wait, this isn't the way it's supposed to happen. I'm the caregiver, you're the patient. This should only go one way. But I then realized this wasn't about being a physician and patient. This is about being human and caring. This is about connection. I promised to get some rest. One of the last things Margaret said to me before she died was, quote, "You never know what's going to happen. You'd better be doing what you love, where you want to be, surrounded by the people you love." After Margaret died, Jake told me he'd understand if I couldn't make her funeral. I was not going to miss a chance to honor this incredible woman. I had a place of unbelievable honor at the service, sitting between 2 of her 3 sons. Their eldest son gave the eulogy and listed me as one of the important people in Margaret's life, thanking me for the times I'd taken what could not have been more than a few minutes several times a day to check in on his mother. Never underestimate the power and importance of just being with your patient, being yourself, listening, and caring. I'm going to say that again because I think it's very important. Never underestimate the power and importance of just being with your patient, being yourself, listening, and caring. Sometimes that will be all you can do. Sometimes that'll be all the patient needs. The second patient is my father. He was one of 14 kids, son of a coal miner from West Virginia. While my mother's family has generations of physicians, my father was the first in his family to go to college. He went on to a wonderful career as an engineer and as a civilian in the Air Force. He and my mother raised my sister with several very basic but important tenets. Always do what is right, finish what you start, care for the people dear to you, attend to those in need, give back to the community that raised and supported you, and do what feeds your soul and makes you happy. One of my favorite, very awkward moments in my memory was in 2nd or 3rd grade when I asked my father, "Where do babies come from?" My father told me this really horrible story that just really upset me. And I later discovered it was the truth, which was even more troubling. But I came to treasure his honesty. Years later, in the midst of a rapidly progressing dementia, he was dying. We were living in the East Bay, and my sister and our State Department was in Namibia in southern Africa. To my complete amazement, our government got her from Namibia to SFO in under 20 hours after my call. My father's medical caregivers did everything they could to keep him alive until she returned, but he lapsed into unconsciousness and it didn't look likely she'd see him alive. One of his nurses began whispering in his ear that his daughter, Tina, was on her way and really wanted to see him. Against the odds, and after a really crazy drive from SFO across the Bay Bridge, not only did he last, but he woke up and recognized my sister. We were all together as a family for just one more time, because my father died a few hours after that. At the time, I was head of the service at UCSF, where I am now, that took care of people like this, and I knew what to expect. I knew that my sister would not get back in time. I knew that he couldn't hold down that long. But I'd forgotten about something very, very important: believing in the strength of the human spirit, the strength of my father's spirit. Thank God his nurse had not forgotten that. My father taught me several last and incredibly important lessons. There's a lot we don't know, which means we keep exploring. While illness can and does change expectations and wishes, don't ever give up hope, and never underestimate the power of our spirit. You are moving forward in medicine during tumultuous and exciting times. Major advancements, increased awareness of healthcare disparities, countrywide debates about healthcare delivery, economic challenges, and daily bad news from around the world. Balancing all of this while continuing your education and being very sleep deprived won't be easy. There are many challenges ahead. You arrived here with the heart and soul to face these challenges. You leave here with the skills and knowledge to meet these challenges. Do not lose your dedication, enthusiasm, and compassion, or your sense of humor. Another favorite quote from a very esteemed wizard, Albus Dumbledore, is worth repeating. Quote, "There will come a time when you have to make a choice between what is right and what is easy," close quote. I know you will always do what is right. Every speaker has advice for graduates, so who am I to break tradition? If there is an unmet need, jump in and get started. Don't wait for someone else to get it going. I've seen you do this. You've inspired me to do this. Listen and respect all voices, even if you don't agree. Again, that's been reinforced by all of you. Take pride in all aspects of your work. You got here by knowing a lot today. It's now time to really make peace with not knowing. When you don't know the answer to something, admit it. You'll be respected for your honesty and ability to acknowledge your challenge, and you'll give better patient care. Believe in yourself. Your values and core beliefs, be they small town or large city, cultural or faith-based, whatever your beliefs and values may be, hold them very dear. Make sure that there's time for those whom you cherish. Stay connected. Believe in your dreams. Don't let setbacks stop you. Live in a spirit of gratitude. The world is an exciting, chaotic, and often disturbing place, but keep aware that there is much to be thankful for. Believe in the good in the world, and you will see it every single day. Above all, remember to believe in the power of the human spirit in the healing of very simple kindness. Remember what Margaret said: you never know what's going to happen, so you'd better be doing what you love, where you want to be, surrounded by the people you love. I wish this for each of you. I know that you will go on to do great things, from small acts of kindness while giving outstanding care to your patients and community, to conquering current and future medical illnesses and healthcare delivery issues. When you fall asleep, or throughout the day as a resident, it will be with the knowledge that you've made a difference in the world. I am touched beyond words that you chose me to deliver your commencement address today. We're incredibly proud of you, and we're here to celebrate your accomplishments. I wish you all the successes. We, all of us here, believe in you. Welcome again, once again, to your next step in medicine, and remember to believe. Thank you.